Hello everyone and welcome to another Thomas video. So today we're taking a look at mono green depths in Thomas format. So this list comes from gathering.gg. I decided to take a look at this deck today because according to Tyrant, this deck has a pretty good win rate, even in Mythic Ladder. And according to the Mox field, this deck comes from them. So we're gonna be taking a look at this deck today. And basically the plan with this deck is to get the Dark Depths out as fast as possible with exploration and crop rotation. And we also play Elvish Reclaimer that can also help us find the right lands into Thespian Stage and Dark Depths. And our plan B win con is through a Strip Mine loop. We have 4 copies of Weary Zone Guard, and we also play 3 copies of Ice Steel Explorer, which also pairs up pretty nicely with the exploration since you can keep playing the lands from the graveyard. And let's say if these cards do end up in the graveyard, you can also get it back with the Shifting Woodland to get back the lands from the graveyard onto the battlefield yet again. So we do have pretty good recursion there. And lastly, our third win con, which is gonna be our plan C, and that is Field of the Dead. We have a 1 copy of Field of the Dead, and that is why you see a lot of one-of lands in the deck as well, which is another way we can actually take over the game. So despite being a monocolored deck, this is the first Dark Depths deck that has a lot of different win cons that's attacking your opponent from multiple different angles. So I'm actually pretty curious to see how this deck does. So hence that, I'm gonna be hopping over to some Thomas Weasel 3 to show you guys how the deck does. So let's have on her. Alright, let's give this a shot. Looks good. Looks really good. Okay, that was a start. That was a start. That was indeed a start. So I can go Nurturing Peatland, Thespian Stage. Interesting. Do I get rid of a Yavi Maya? I could also just keep strip mining with the Ice Steel Explorer, but let's just do this. I think that should be sufficient enough. And then we deny opponent's mana with the Deathray Shaman, right? I just did it in on my turn because the opponent could have like a strip mines and be a little bit more annoying. So I actually do not know what opponent's playing. They just played Deathray Shaman and they surrendered. It could be a very much the same deck as well though. So yeah, I'm not really sure. It could be the same deck. Not 100%. So I guess we'll just go. Alright. It's also a really nice hand. Noble Hierarch. We have a Dark Depths. Seems like they have a Force of Negation. I have 1 green land. That should be fine, right? Alright, so opponent plays Force of Negation. Sure. They have another Force of Negation. Alright, I'll play the Dark Depths first, since I have 2 copies of it. to I Still Explore. Okay, looks like we lost this time. So it's a pretty similar deck, right? It's a pretty similar deck, but... Ooh, that's actually kind of relevant. If I actually had a... It could actually have been pretty relevant here. But with the I Still Explore... It's gonna be a little bit rough, isn't it? We'll see. I could Bajuka Bog, actually. Let's actually Bajuka Bog. Very interesting deck, right? Like, Psychic Frog, I Still Explore. What's going on here? So strip mining when opponent has an I Still Explore doesn't seem like it does anything. I could just play a Worry Zone Guard. Get back a land. And we'll also have a Elvish Reclaimer. Okay, let's block. Let's sacrifice the Bajuka Bog, since we can get it back with the I Still Explore. What should I grab? I mean, Field of the Dead. I could even grab actually Ancient Tomb. Okay, I mean, we have a Thespian stage with a dark depth, so... Hold up. Let's do this first. Since we can get the lands back with the Worry Zone Guard. We're gonna attack. Let's grab Thespian stage back. And then we're gonna play I Still Explore. And then we're gonna get back a Bajuka Bog. Nice. Alright. We have a Once Upon a Time for the Deathray Shaman. Do we go for this? It's a bit risky, but... I mean, actually, no, we can play... All things considered, we could play the Bajuka Bog to play the Deathray Shaman, so maybe it's not too bad. Right. Let's Once Upon a Time. Seems like they have something. Okay, we missed. We missed. Also Once Upon a Time. I feel like they should have actually waited. I feel like opponent should have waited there. What I like to do with the Once Upon a Time is I wait until I draw a card and then see like if I want to cast the Once Upon a Time. But it's like a very minute thing, like it's okay. Alright. Do I want to strip mine the woodland wooded foothill into casting the Weary Zone Guard? I think so. They're gonna crack it in response. Sure. And then we're gonna eat this. I'll lay another strip mine. Play the Weary Zone Guard. Get back a strip mine. Get rid of you. They do have a ancient tomb here, so... Oh, it's another Dark Depths? A lot of, we're seeing a lot of Dark Depths today. This was a good play. That was indeed a really, really good play there. They went with the Yavi Maya. Into another crop rotation. Into a Bajuk Bog. Sure. Alright. I misplay there. I should have Malevolent Rumbled first. Misplays were made. Yeah, misplays were made there. Would have had another land here. Into a strip mine. That's actually totally fine. Ooh, we have a Thespian stage. So this is a forest. Does that mean this comes in untapped? This land enters tapped unless you control a forest. We do have a forest. I'll attack. What an interesting game. Like, we're just like constantly blowing up opponent's land and my land. So we get back a shifting woodland, and maybe I go for I Still Explore here. And then I can play the Thespian stage and Dark Depths. Opponent? Hello? Anybody home? I think we would have actually won this anyways. Like, maybe opponent disconnected, but I think we would have won because we get to get back a Shifting Woodland and play the I Still Explore, play 2 of these lands, and we also get to exile opponent's Strip Mine here. I think this is basically over, right? I guess I don't technically need to play these. I can always play a next turn with the I Still Explore. Yeah, either opponent disconnected or maybe scooped up here. Alright. Huh, that's interesting actually, because they timed out 2 times and they're still not disconnected. That's kind of strange. Usually when somebody disconnects and then times out twice, they just automatically surrenders, but this is the 3rd time the rope's been burning. Okay, there we go. Right. Excellent hand. Overgrown Tomb into Deathray Shaman. We have a crop rotation with the Thespian Stage. Very cool. I could just leave up a crop rotation here, actually. A Jund. Into a Baragoyf. So we crop rotation for Dark Depths. Then we play the Thespian Stage. And before any of that shenanigan with the... Yeah, there we go. With the Strip Mine, we immediately transform... I was going to immediately transform the Dark Depths. Because the moment you pass a turn and they play a Strip Mine, it becomes very complicated. Jund. A Jund deck. I could play some Dismember. For what, though? Maybe Malevolent Rumble? I'm actually not sure if the Dismember is that necessary. Now that I'm kind of looking at the sideboard a bit, this Dismember might actually be only for Magus of the Moon. Yeah, thinking about it, this actually might be for the Magus of the Moon. But 2 shouldn't hurt. They could also play Magus, so we'll see. It's not so rare for a Jund to play some Blood Moon effects. Alright, that's a mulligan. That is a keep. Okay. Into a Thoughtseize. They're probably going to take away the crop rotation here. No. Surprised? Yeah, a bit surprised there. They could have like... I mean, I guess playing out the Yavi Maya isn't like too big of a deal because I can just crop rotation into another Yavi Maya. That's not even that good actually. Is it? Okay, that's actually really good. So what happens if I don't think I can actually make the 2020 here, right? Like, let's say I go crop rotation for Dark Depths here. Yeah, it doesn't work. Seems like they actually might have some interaction, maybe? Maybe I want to do it on opponent's turn this time. Interesting. They shocked. Seems like they might actually have a Sheldress Edict. I'm thinking opponent has a Sheldress Edict and like an Orcish Bowmaster play here. Yep, I think that's exactly what they have. I keep drawing this bad card. Yeah, imagine if I had actually a good card instead of a Dismember. They play Questing Druid. I need one creature. I basically need one creature on the battlefield so I can activate this Dark Depths to go through Sheldress Edict. Hey, look. Did you see that? They decided not to play this. Because they need to leave up 2 mana at all times, so... So I think we're actually perfectly right about the fact that they have a exactly Sheldress Edict. Yeah, that's actually really good. So... This is actually perfect, right? Since I can go... Worry Zone Guard, and then we'll activate the Thespian stage. Unless they have exactly like 2 Sheldress Edict. Right? Like if they have 2 Sheldress Edict, then we're kind of screwed, but... There we go! Okay, we have a Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time. Let there be light. Let there be light. Okay, so looks like we have to grab the tree of tails here. Okay, this is an energy list. This might be pretty hard. Kind of an awkward hand, isn't it? I could crop rotation here for a strip mine. And I top deck a land. Ooh, that actually might be a GG, right? That's too much, right? Because even if I go strip mine here... Okay, well, I'm gonna make this play, and then if I don't get a land, I'll surrender. Even if I do get a land, we might still lose because they're making a lot of tokens. So... So is the One Ring for this purpose? I feel like I kind of doubt it. How does this deck ever beat an energy, by the way? I feel like it doesn't. Like maybe if you just lock them down to strip mines, but that's kind of about it, right? They're playing Giganta. They might actually have some Blood Moons. Well, this time around we have a lot of strip mines with the... So that actually might be pretty good. As long as we top deck like a Wary Zongar or Ice Steel Explorer, I feel like it should be pretty good. Kind of a nasty hand. If we do manage to get a blocker, that is. I guess strip mining right now doesn't make any sense. Okay, we did get a blocker. I'll just play this right now, since it's a tap land. It's very important that this Elvish Reclaimer actually blocks here. Static Prison. Very nice. Another Elvish Reclaimer. Now again, it's actually very important that the Elvish Reclaimer blocks here. So they brought a surgical. I kind of like surgical against this deck because especially against a creature deck, you actually don't have any other choice other than, you know, trying to kill your opponent with strip mines, especially against an aggro deck, that is. Oh, they found another land. They found another land. No. That's pretty bad, actually. So, I mean, let's say I block. Man, it's actually pretty bad, isn't it? I guess I block here. And then they just sacrifice the token to kill the Elvish Reclaimer. I don't think blocking this makes sense. I'm surprised they decided not to kill the Elvish Reclaimer. Hey, hold up. Wait, what? Why'd you leave? Huh? You could have top decked the swords, another static prison. I mean, I guess static prison wouldn't have done anything because I can make the dark depths at an instant speed, but still, I don't think it was over yet. But I'm glad we actually even have a, you know, game 3, honestly. I think this is an incredibly bad matchup. So, there's that. Well, I feel like it's not that bad, but is turn 3 Dark Depths really good enough without us doing anything against my opponent? That's kind of the question. That's kind of the thing here, but we'll see. Maybe we top deck Elvish Reclaimer, Exploration, or Deathray Shaman. We'll see. So strip mine. I'll start with the Thespian stage, since I have multiple copies of it. Maybe I could have actually gone strip mine. Oh, maybe I should have actually gone strip mine because... Oh, that's such a mistake because we know that opponent doesn't have a 1 and a card, so I should have strip mined. Oh, that's such a mistake. Okay, actually, this actually worked out. It worked out. So I'll strip mine you. I need to draw... to a surgical. Okay. Opponent's very prepared. Crop rotation? Does crop rotation do anything? I have the Field of the Dead. Not really. Okay, I'll play Yavimaya and pass. So now I have either one of these to play. Okay. I'll play the Dark Depths and pass. The thing is, opponent could have like another, like that's the thing. They could have another like flute or something. So maybe I just pass until opponent like tries to tap out. And I just keep putting lands onto the battlefield. I should have played I should have maybe played the Ancient Tomb there. A Thray Shaman. It seems like they have another surgical, maybe? Seems like they actually might have another surgical here. Okay, so they have more swords, maybe. I think they have more, they have some swords, probably. Bum 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 bum. Wait, what happened to my Field of the Dead? No shot. I'm so unlucky. I'm so unlucky. What? Okay. I mean, that's insane, by the way. That's insane, by the way. How did that happen? How did that happen? So we're looking for a Wary Zone Guard or Ice Still Explore to get the Field of the Dead back. It looks like they're exactly looking to leave up 2 mana here for a copy of a Disruptor Flute. Remember, opponent hasn't been playing a lot of cards, so there's a possibility that they have just more Disruptor Flutes. So what are we missing? A creature. We have yet to find a creature because it was exiled. And they also used the Swords of Plowshare very willy-nilly. That probably proves that they have more, you know, ways of getting rid of this. Okay, so this is a Swords, probably. But I think I'm still going to cast it. The thing is, like, I can't just keep not doing anything, so... You know. So another surgical, and I guess they have the last card is Swords, maybe? Okay, so it was a Swords. So my next step is to try to win with the Weary Zone Guard, if I can find it. Weary Zone Guard or Ice Explorer, because one time I milled exactly Field of the Dead, so I have to find either a Weary Zone Guard or Ice Explorer. That's gonna be my second win condition. Oh, they even have a Blood Moon there, so... that's not good. Exploration. Doesn't really do anything. We have 7 lands left in the deck. So our top 30 were 23 lands. Can you believe that? That's a bit unlucky. Once upon a time. Weary Zone Guard. That's their third Source of Plowshare. I think that actually might be a wrap. GG's. We only had 7 playable cards in our top 30. And had those 30 cards not mill a Field of the Dead, we actually would have stood a chance. Okay, we have a double crop rotation. Pretty sick, actually. Grief comes down. They're going to take away the Weary Zone Guard. And they might actually reanimate it if they have it. This is actually the worst case scenario. Yeah, if they actually have... Reanimate... Actually, even if they do reanimate... As long as it's not... Chrome Mox into reanimate strip mine, we're good. It has to be exactly... Yeah, there we go. I think this is okay. I think we're still good. Into 1 ring, that's totally fine. Oh, you know what? I can't even go crop rotation. Dark Depths, Decimean Stage this turn. Because this is not a forest. That's really bad, actually. Oh, wait. No, it's still bad. Yeah, it's still bad. Yeah, I'm pretty sad. Honestly, I'm pretty sad here. So now I just have to wait until I see which land I draw. Yikes. Alright, we lost. Because this wasn't a forest, I couldn't like leave a double crop rotation for Thespian Stage and Dark Depths, and we also drew another tap land there, so it was just the worst case scenario. And like I said, if they had a strip mine into reanimate, it would have been bad, and they eventually got it. Okay. I mean, not much you can do there. Not much you can do. I do understand why those lands are there, but it can really make your like opening hands like these or your mulligans or be really, really bad. You know what I mean? I'll start with the Elvish Reclaimer, despite, you know, if I just play these 3 lands together, I can just combo immediately, but I think this is probably better. Alright, so I'll play the Thespian Stage here, and I'll pass. Into a Strip Mine. It's kind of annoying, actually. I'll play this and pass. Sheoldred's Edict. What do I do? Do I activate this Elvish Reclaimer? It puts the land tapped as well. I guess I just have to let this go. I could try to go for another Thespian Stage. Okay, now they're going to get rid of our Ancient Tomb here, probably. The fact that they use a Sheoldred's Edict might actually mean that they have another one. But the thing is, they have like maybe like 1 or 2 copies of a Sheoldred's Edict maximum. So I'm not really sure. The strip mine means that it's actually making things a little bit complicated. I can try to Dark Depths Thespian Stage twice next turn, maybe? Alright, let's see. I will see. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Do they have another Shawshar's Edict? We'll see. Ooh, that was a toughie. That was a toughie. All right. Maybe I'll have some endurance. Maybe I'll have some endurance this time around. Maybe one less I still explore. What do we cut though? What do we cut? Do we not care about this member? Maybe I don't care about this member. Yeah, maybe I don't care about this member. I have an exploration, crop rotation with double Thespian Stage and Yavi Maya. Let us, once upon a time, endurance. Endurance. Let's go Yavi Maya, exploration. Play Misty Rainforest and pass. Okay. Into Chrome Mox. Into a Baragoyf. Into another Strip Mine. So I can't even just leave up a crop rotation here. I have to hold it. Okay. So if I go like Thespian Stage, sacrifice one of the lands. The thing is, they're just going to get rid of a Yavi Maya, right? So I played Thespian Stage. I played a Strip Mine. Tap the Yavi Maya, get rid of a Misty Rainforest, grab Dark Depths. And I pass. The Strip Mine makes this a little bit tricky. I don't think I can Dark Depths here. So I'll Endurance on myself. And I'll block the Baraglyph. Okay, let's say I crop rotation here. Let's say I crop rotation. Does that matter? I don't think so, right? Because I can always just crop rotation the Misty Rainforest at the end of the turn. So I shouldn't use a crop rotation to make potentially the Baraglyph bigger. I just let this go. I'm just thankful that they didn't get rid of the Yavimaya here. Into another reanimate. Oh, what? What if they have a surgical? Oh no. Oh no. But I have exploration, so I can just play 2 cards here. Okay. Oh man, this is pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. If I try to Rary Zone Guard, they're just going to Deathray Shaman me. So I think what I should do before they draw a card, I should maybe go for... Why is it tapping like this? And I'll grab Dark Depths. And I'll make it into this. And do I strip mine? I don't think I strip mine because I have a Worries on guard. Oh man. Alright, GG's. Alright, so we played a couple of games today. We went 4-1. We lost to an energy deck. As expected, I think the energy matchups is gonna be very tough, especially considering that they have like 6 different ways of answering your Dark Depths, 4 copies of Swords, and 2 or 3 copies of Static Prisons as well. Post-sideboard, they also get access to things like Disruptor Flute, surgical things like that to annoy you. So even taking just 1 game was actually pretty impressive in my opinion. And even despite all that hate cards, we actually might have won the game had we just not milled a copy of a Field of the Dead when we casted our Winding Way. As for the Winding Way, we haven't really seen this card too much outside of that 1 game against the energy. The reason why I decided to put Winding Way is because I've experienced the play pattern with the Valakut in historic format. Since the format has exploration and since that deck is also playing 30 lands, it's just extremely good when you can Winding Way when you have an exploration and then you just draw a bunch of lands and then you just put down as many lands as possible onto the battlefield. And there's also another benefit to playing the Winding Way is the synergy between the I Still Explore and the Worry Zone Guard. Because compared to something like a Mulch only lets you get lands out of the top 4, while the Winding Way has a choice between creature or land. So let's say if you have enough lands and then you Winding Way and then you call creature, you could hit something like a Worry Zone Guard and I Still Explore. And what that allows is you can put the lands that you revealed into the graveyard and you can get those lands back with these cards. So there's a very strong synergy with this card in the deck, in my opinion. Now, as for like the mana base, I think mostly the mana base was fine. The Shifting Woodland is almost guaranteed to come in tapped, unless you control something like a Yavimaya. Because outside of the Yavimaya, as you can see, like we only have a 1 copy of Forest and 1 copy of the other Forest, and then we have an Overgrown Tomb and Underground Mortuary, right? So you have 4 copies that make the Shifting Woodland come in untapped. So unless you control a Yavimaya, the Shifting Woodland is going to come in tapped, which actually hindered my plays quite a bit today. I get why the Shifting Woodland is there. There's some synergy with this card, with the Wear Zone Guard and I Still Explore, since you can get back lands from the graveyard with the Shifting Woodland. So that's a strong synergy. So I get why it's there, but sometimes you're gonna have some games you might lose because you have a Shifting Woodland, which actually happened in one of the games that I played. Outside of that, again, same kind of deal with the Tree of Tales, right? I get why the Tree of Tales is there, because this is an artifact, which means it's going to feel for the Shifting Woodland, and it's also going to feel for the Field of the Dead. Again, because this is an artifact land, which actually made the Shifting Woodland come in tapped, which actually disallowed from me playing the double crop rotation in one of the games that I played. So, but I actually quite like the deck a lot. I think the Field of the Dead is a great pivot towards a different win condition, especially if your opponent is a surgical gamer. Like I said in one of the games, I could have actually pivoted towards the Field of the Dead once my Dark Depths and Strip Mine got surgical extracted, but my Field of the Dead happened to get milled in my top 30 cards, which was not great. So we couldn't actually do that. I like the option that it's there. I had some doubts because it was mono green, but it's actually not bad. You know, Dismember to get rid of Magus to the Moon, Force of Vigor to get rid of Blood Moons. Dismember can be pretty useful against like Golgari mid-range if they're playing things like Wear Zone Guard, right? And Disruptor Flute against like a Show and Tell, Belcher, Endurance against Reanimate. And the One Ring is a little bit confusing to me. Perhaps this is for like maybe tempo matchup, a little bit like more grindy matchups like Esper Tempo, things like that, where you can, you know, draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, I'm not really sold on the One Ring in the sideboard, but maybe somebody can enlighten me what the One Ring is for, because I don't think it's a good enough card versus an energy deck. Like without a board wipe, it's against an energy deck, it's not gonna do anything in my opinion. So yeah, that is gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye bye.